A quick peek through the keyhole just to make sure the way is clear.
What the fuck? Let's come right out with it. In today's industry, if the stealth genre were any more pale, waifish, and anemic, Andy Biersack could hand him a guitar, a wig, and some clown makeup and make him an honorary member of Black Veil Brides. By the way, Sunshine, Motley Crue called, they'd like their everything back. But lo, through the desultory din of diving dividends, it's a bird, it's a plane, it's a satanic murder goblin with a face like Sarkeesian after a skin peel, leaping errantly from cover to carve your carotid like a ripe Christmas ham. But motherfucker, if that's what it takes for games to finally receive a true representation of the genre in the developmental dust bowl of contemporary stealth gaming, by God, bring the Bonesaw next time.
Bonesaw is ready!
This game is the tits. Your tits, my tits, red tits, blue tits, Movie Bob's memory suffocating on an airtight polyester Super Mario Death Mask tits. 7 stages of sublime stealth supremacy, more than sufficient to conjure the shadow-skulking, rent-a-cop shanking death ninja in all of us. If one day the nascent ambition of every shrill art house auteur discordantly shrieking the video game should be art mantra while skipping frantically between Witcher sex scenes on their iPhone and video games at last ascend to arthood, and they publish the video game equivalent of Strunken White's Elements of Style, may I advance the fanatical opinion that rule number 1 should be if you can't properly execute stealth gameplay, don't support it in your lens flare cake AAA feature creep foundry, and if you're looking for a contemporary empirical baseline upon which to delineate what successful implementation of stealth looks like, ditch your Dishonored, toss your teeth, clasp your digits around a middle market monolith by the name of Styx, Master of Shadows. Spinning off from a punishingly difficult but eminently enjoyable RPG, Styx sees Cyanide Studios indulge in their self-evident love of immutable stealth gaming icons like Thief the Dark Project and Splinter Cell, with particular attention to the former. But the embryonic underpinnings of its orcs and men parentage haven't been completely shorn away. They're omnipresent in the obscenely detailed lore crammed in every crevice of its impressively varied environs, in the incidental dialogue of world-building NPCs, but perhaps nowhere more pronounced than in the upgrade system. Austere but no less robust, the game recognizes and actively caters to the player's latent desire to tailor the gameplay experience to suit their singular style. Wanna be a thief? We're talking a lockpicking, loot-lifting, world-weary monologue kind of thief, not the raccoon eyeshadow glaucoma-afflicted bondage gimp unitard variety, for the record. Well then fucking go for it! Do it! Fall, run, or roll more silently as the game unfolds, more inclined toward assassination. Upgrade your offensive options and do it the fuck up! And unlike inferior covert offerings of the past half-decade, neither approach is any more viable than its counterpoint. I believe once upon a velociraptor, when roves of saber-toothed mammals hunted primeval mankind and Sony and Microsoft could still sell actual software, as I recall the word for that was, fucking game design! Sadly, in the months following launch, the shit-flinging me-monkeys in the gaming press have reflexively portrayed this game as an antediluvian artifact from a bygone era. Styx feels like it came out less than a decade ago, opines JS Games. It feels more dated than vintage, blathers GameSpot, a description I would argue is more readily applicable to GameSpot's site design and revenue model. Of course it feels like a game from 10 years ago, Professor Pleb, because that's about the last time a stealth game was actually fucking released, when reviewers didn't confuse Hobo Skeletor launching Hurricane Blast from his forearm, or Big Boss McSam Fisher goggles and his suspiciously toned buttocks cowering in a cardboard box to evade a guard with an IQ that doubles as a shoe size with pulse-pounding tactical stealth action. GameSpot, if you honestly think Dishonored with its shadowless beyond binary last-gen line-of-sight pseudo-stealth outstrips Styx's elegant variegated approach to shadowy gradation, you are higher than Bruce Jenner's wedding pumps. We live in a world where Styx, Master of Shadows, a game that was never once shopped as anything but a whimsical, middle-market, sneak-laden spin-off of an RPG, is penalized with scores of 6.0, which in the perma-skewed arithmetic of modern gaming is roughly equivalent to a -5, for its lack of offensive options in a fucking stealth game! While Dishonored, a game that resoundingly fucking failed to be the spiritual successor to Thief Harvey Smith repeatedly purported it would be, is sweeping the Game of the Century awards with a protagonist so cartoonishly overpowered he can't sneeze without leveling a city block. Saying the combat sucks in Styx, Master of Shadows is like bitching about the mech combat in Barbie Island Princess. I'll take a game where the stealth actually works and discovery is a death sentence over a game with lobotomized stealth mechanics where the lean is an invisibility cloak, and even if you're discovered, you can sword fight a gaggle of Megazords to a fare thee well with an empty water pistol and a half-eaten length of Twizzler's pull and peel. Skiing the downslope of Turd Mountain, lumbering laboriously in a frame are those hulking Macedonian monoliths that at one time we'd naively believed had been eradicated during the Ice Age of the previous generation, yet somehow, with the dawn of the PS4 and Xbox One, have made a comeback to rival a mullet-bedecked David Hasselhoff. The fucking loading times. I don't give a fuck if the downtime is 3 seconds or fucking 30. No one wants to peer passively at a screen with a controller in one hand and themselves in the other while the game punishes its crank like it caught it breaking into its house.
What is it with this guy and cranks?
He's a man of refined tastes.
He's obsessed.
Unless, of course, Kojima made it, in which case, Zom Game of the Year all years! Compounding the irritation exponentially is the trial and error endemic to this and indeed any stealth game. In any other title from Sepia Shootfest to masturbatory MMOs, a compulsory loading time between deaths would be a more than cold enough bucket of ice water to douse even the most turgid of gaming cocks. But in a shadow-based stealth title, where the line between subtlety and subversion is perpetually a razor's width from discovery and certain death, bring a fruitcake, asshole, because you're gonna be on a first-name basis with these fucking loading times. Could practical improvements be applied to the already potent formula? Oh, unfucking-doubtedly. Optional first-person mode, a lock-picking minigame, and the ability to manually aim projectile weapons would all congeal to elevate an excellent and refreshing modern stealth revival into a paragon of perfidy worthy of a place of prominence on the gilded mantelpiece right alongside Thief 2 and Splinter Cell Chaos Theory. As it stands, at least until the inevitable sequel, Styx Master of Shadows is making the best of a bad industry, and in 2015, that's more than enough. I'm Razor Fist. God fucking speed.